Has the response to terror and insurgencies fallen victim to politics? A meeting of chief ministers in New Delhi was meant to evolve a coordinated response to terrorism in the aftermath of the major Naxal strike in Chhattisgarh. But once again, the gathering deteriorated into a political war of words. Charged up after his decisive victory in the by-elections in Gujarat today, Narendra Modi took on the UPA, saying that the government is guilty of a confused approach in fighting terror and that it rides roughshod over the interests of the states. The government fielded former Home Minister P. Chidambaram to rebut Modi, who said that the Gujarat Chief Minister's criticisms are weakening a coordinated response to terrorism.
अगर NAC के NGO की एक्टिविस्ट उसको छुड़वाने के लिए एक कलेक्टर को किडनैप कर दिया जाए, उसके बाद भी वो व्यक्ति NAC में हो, वो NGO को प्रोसिक्यूशन हो, तो आप कैसे टेररिज्म के? इसलिए तब मैं कहता हूं, आप राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा की बातें करते हो, लेकिन आपके एक्शन राजकीय सुरक्षा के.
If this is the attitude that we will take towards fighting terrorism, this country will bleed from time to time.
A crucial meeting on internal security reduced to a slanging match. The main flashpoint was a National Counter Terrorism Centre, meant to be the apex anti-terror body. Even though the centre watered it down after states protested that it encroached on their rights, it still didn't have any takers. The new draft proposal says that the NCTC will carry out anti-terror operations, if any, through or in conjunction with the state police. The NCTC will no longer be under the Intelligence Bureau, as was proposed earlier. It will now work directly under the Union Home Ministry and will be headed by a DGP level officer. It will, however, have the powers to seek information from all states and central agencies and maintain records. But chief ministers led by an aggressive Mr. Modi claims that even this watered-down version is redundant. To rebut his charges, the government fielded not the current Home Minister but his predecessor.
आप नई एजेंसियां बना करके समस्याओं का समाधान नहीं कर सकते.
नई agency. MAC was announced earlier but was not operationalized. So we passed an executive order operationalizing MAC, and today you have our fiercest critic, the Chief Minister of Gujarat, praising MAC.
प्रधानमंत्री की चेयरमैनशिप में प्लानिंग कमीशन पिछले 50 साल से काम कर रहा था. इस बार आपने अचानक NAC बना दी. NAC बना दी तो प्लानिंग कमीशन बेकार हो गया, उसका कोई रोल नहीं रहा. तो ऐसी स्थिति NCTC के कारण होगी.
He wants to bring back TADA and POTA.
Despite the opposition, the government may still push through the NCTC on the basis of an executive order. But then there are several sections within the government which aren't very convinced about the NCTC. And in such a situation, even if the NCTC is brought in, there are no guarantees that it will be able to deliver. On the back foot, the government hit out at Mr. Modi, claiming that the BJP is interfering in the investigations into the killing of Ishrat Jahan by Gujarat police. The BJP has objected to the CBI probing the Intelligence Bureau, which had reportedly given the inputs Gujarat police acted on.
Gujarat Chief Minister and some other BJP leaders are interfering with the CBI investigation. Such statements are a gross interference with the CBI's investigation.
Today's war of words derailed a meeting which, in the aftermath of the Chhattisgarh Naxal attack, was aimed at better coordination between the centre and the states.
ये देश की प्रॉब्लम है, सबसे बड़ी समस्या है, और इसके लिए राष्ट्रीय नीति, नेशनल पॉलिसी और स्ट्रेटजी तय करने की आवश्यकता अब और ज्यादा है.
In New Delhi, Shudhiranjan Sen for NDTV.
So has politics once again derailed an attempt to build consensus on how to fight terror and insurgencies? Joining me tonight to debate that, Abhishek Singhvi, senior spokesperson of the Congress, Rajya Sabha MP from the BJP. Chandan Mitra joins me. Ajay Sahani, who is one of the country's leading counter-terrorism experts, also on the show. Also Kavita Srivastav, who's of course the General Secretary of PUCL Rajasthan. And also joining me is Mr. A.V. Karnik, former Deputy Director of the Intelligence Bureau. Abhishek, to you. Narendra Modi, very aggressive today at the Chief Minister's meet, saying that the government has double standards when it comes to fighting terror. He even gave a specific example, saying that those who are seen to have Maoist affiliations, referring to those like Binayak Sen, are actually given positions in government bodies like the Planning Commission, which thoroughly demoralizes your security forces?
Vasu, I am really very sad. Politics, principally by the BJP and a few other opposition allies, has trumped national security and nationalism. Who is talking of double standards? The first point I wish to make, the classic double standard is by the BJP demonstrated today. Here is a party which breastbeats itself every day on nationalism, on national security, talks of tough measures against terrorism. And when we propose an NCTC or a modified version of the NCTC, the more correct phrase, they oppose it on every technical principle. In fact, I will go to the extent of saying that personally I am opposed even to the few concessions which the central government and the UPA did make to make the NCTC operational. I personally, I am saying, would not have agreed to that. But be that as it may, here you have in the fight against terror, the basic concept is it is cross-border, it is trans-border. You cannot have a state approach to terrorism. And therefore, the NCTC was only intended to act trans-border and coordinate. They had a problem that the NCTC, just one second, just let's go to this one second only. They had a problem that the NCTC could go straight and arrest somebody, and perhaps without the consultation of the local police, which I think, which I have diluted. Although I think that that's also necessary sometimes because there are leakages at the local level.
You made that point. You made that compelling point.
They are objecting on federal principles, rendering nugatory. And here is a party which is talking of double standards and talking of Pota and this Tada.
All right, let's get Chandan Mitra to respond to that. Let's get Chandan Mitra to respond to that. Chandan, the fact is that it's not just the BJP, it is also other state governments, chief ministers, some of which are the Congress states as well, which have anxieties about the NCTC, but specifically, Abhishek's point is that the BJP makes internal security one of its central ideological pillars, and despite the fact that this anti-terror body has been diluted, you continue to object to it, thereby derailing any attempt at consensus.
The problem is that the Congress party is a party of egomaniacs. They believe that what they have come out with is the be-all and end-all. That is the only solution acceptable to the country, and that's the only thing that should be done. And therefore, they overrule even their own chief ministers. Mr. Siddaramaiah from Karnataka, the newly elected chief minister in Karnataka, has also very serious reservations about this complete intrusion into a state's authority.
No, but
the idea is not to overrule states. They cannot be. You should overrule states,
and
send the central...
Sorry, Chandan, just a quick interjection. The point here is that the overruling aspect has been diluted. Now, no longer will this body have powers to suo moto, go and make arrests and all of that. It will have to do it via the state government, via the police and the security forces of the state government. Therefore, what is the objection now?
No, then what is the need? The state, law and order is a state subject. Whenever the national agency like IB, or CBI or any other enforcement agency gets
or the
information,
NIA,
they should pass it on to the states, and it will be carried out.
So you're saying you don't need, you do not need the NCTC at all.
Yeah, we don't need NCTC.
Think of terrorism
is a product of the Congress party's egomania. There is no need for any NCTC as of now, diluted or otherwise.
I'd like you to explain to the nation, Vasu,
Abhishek
how
Singhvi,
terrorism
the Congress is an egomaniacal party.
Is to be contained.
Yes.
Well, I don't mind Congress being abused, using all adjectives. Let's do some good for the nation. Please abuse us and let allow some good to be done. These subjective adjectives will not help.
Why not bring back
Please
quota?
Tell the nation. Please explain the nation. Please explain to the nation how you are going to contain terrorism by a state boundary approach, saying it's a local state law and order in each. When terrorism, both Maoist, Naxalite and non-Maoist Naxalite, is entirely trans-border. It is informed from state 1, logisticized in state 2, implemented in state 3.
Okay, let Chandan quickly respond to that.
I mean,
and then I want to bring in Ajay Sahni.
It's almost a joke. My
simple point.
Suggest that.
I need respond to that. I need to do the counter.
How will you fight terror? How will you specifically have states fighting terror when terror or insurgencies are cross-border?
Bring back Pota. What was wrong with Pota? The first thing you did when UPA came to power was to dismantle Pota. Why? And then
Quota is law. We are talking of enforcement. NCTC is enforcement.
Into UAPA.
We are not talking of law. We are talking of
Now
enforcement.
NCTC
is the remedy, the enforcement. Quota is the law.
Bring.
We are talking of enforcement.
Bring quota.